I want you to focus on the immediate actions you're going to take to change your life. All the things that Carlitos did, now you're going to apply to your own life, and you're going to do the following things. This is going to change your life, but you're going to have to stick with it. All right, now I'm presuming that you have this notion of a growth mindset. You know the things that you have to believe. You know the things that you should be doing. These are going to be the things that you're going to do to reinforce that, to cement it in your mind and put it into action. Remember, action cures all. Almost every problem that you have in your life, the cure is to do something about it. It's never to sit back. It's never to be passive. It is to, in fact, I'll stop saying weak shit. It is to always take action, to do something, to change your situation, to make it what you want. It may be learning something new. It may be facing a fear, maybe just getting off your ass and getting busy, but action is going to cure all. Now, as I said with Carlitos, number one, you have to have clarity. You have to know what you're going after. Until you have the clarity on your direction, you're never going to be able to move. Now, people always think that they're clear when they're not. And this is the classic example. Somebody will come to me and they say, Tom, I know exactly what I want to do. Awesome, man. What is it? I want to help people. That is hopelessly vague. Because remember, from where you are to where you want to be, there is a chasm. And that chasm is a chasm of skill set. To know what skills you need to acquire to cross that chasm requires you to be clear. When you say you want to help somebody, that's like saying you want to win a gold medal. In what? The Olympics? Yes, Tom, I want a gold in the Olympics. I want to win a gold in the Olympics. Fantastic. Summer or winter? Summer? Great. Which sport? Tennis or swimming? Swimming? Wonderful. What event? Backstroke? Freestyle medley? Until you know exactly what event and what sport you want to compete at, you're not going to know what skills you need to develop. Now, the key to developing those skills, the key to making the most of that clarity is to develop passion. People often think that passion, like talent and intelligence, is something that you're born with. You are not, punchline, you're not born with passion. So if you don't have passion in your life, it's because you haven't developed that passion yet. That's a whole course unto itself, but I will give you the quick breakdown. Passion, which is required to persevere, which is why it's so important right now when we're talking about a growth mindset. Passion is interest that you explore enough to turn into a fascination, and then you gain mastery. Fascination or interest plus mastery equals passion. As Angela Duckworth defines grit, grit is passion and perseverance over time. So getting that passion to couple with your clarity is gonna give you the energy that you need to see things through. But you need that direction in order to develop that passion. So I want you to write it down. That's when you know you have something clear. It's so clear you can write it down. Once you can write it down in a very simple, clear sentence, you're gonna understand the skills that you need to acquire in order to move forward. And then, my friends, develop said skills. Number two, you want to hang up the essential beliefs for a growth mindset. I think that seeing this stuff, being around it, the power of repetition is really important. And an idea that I want to quickly introduce you to is the notion of self-signaling. I think self-signaling is a big thing. And if you ever see me wearing my Jedi necklace, or you see me wearing one of my shirts that talk about a whole host of things, from having a growth mindset to doing that which moves you forward. I'm the type of person that, like, all the things that I wear to remind myself of who I am, what my belief system is, I'm signaling to myself. So if you see me wearing a Yoda shirt, it's because I really believe there is no try, do or do not. Things like that. Like, that may seem silly and goofy, but putting it in your life, you're self-signaling to yourself what's important, what's powerful. Number three, you want to audit your self-narrative. Self-narrative is a book unto itself, let alone a class. But you want to be very, very aware of what your self-narrative is. And you're going to take over that process. You're going to begin to construct a new narrative, an empowering narrative, the narrative of an anti-fragile. We talked about that in the last section. An anti-fragile learner. That is critical. Let that become your narrative. You're the learner. So it doesn't matter if you know something today. You focus on being a learner. You value yourself for being a learner. I'm a learner. I learn fast. I go in. I dive deep in a subject. I'm willing to face my inadequacies. I don't allow myself to be insecure because of something that, I don't know, or I am embarrassed in public. Somebody asks me a question and I don't know the answer. In my interview show, if I don't know, I'm just going to fucking ask. Like, if somebody says something and I'm essentially on national television, we have over 1 million subscribers on YouTube alone, and if I don't know, I'm just going to say, yeah, I don't know that. And the funny, it's not even hard for me. And when I first started doing it, people were like, they would, call it out in the comments like, whoa, I can't believe that you'd admit that you don't know that. And the thing is, because my ego is so big and so raging, but it's entirely around being the learner, that moment of admitting that I don't know something is exactly how I empower myself. So you want to build that identity of the anti-fragile learner. You also want to eliminate your limiting beliefs. All of us, even I still today, have limiting beliefs, things that I think that, I'd really struggle to get good at that or whatever. And I called 2 of them out before, singing and drawing. And you want to, one by one, get rid of the limiting beliefs in your life. There are things that you want, you're excited about, maybe you're even passionate about, but you don't think that you're ever going to be one of the greats. And you need to set that aside and understand that on a long enough timeline, you can win at anything. The next thing is your negative voice. We all have a negative voice in our heads. And oftentimes people are asking me, Tom, what do you do to get rid of the negative voice? And the reality is, I don't even make an attempt to get rid of the negative voice. What I try to do is turn that negative voice into a habit loop trigger. Meaning, every time the negative voice jumps up, tells me that I can't do something, then I use that as a habit loop trigger to repeat one of my empowering phrases. I'm not good at this yet, or I can do anything I set my mind to without limitation. Whatever the thing is that's appropriate to whatever the negative voice is saying in that moment, the negative voice doesn't have the sway over me because it reminds me to think something that's empowering. And if you've done what we just talked about and you've printed out the belief systems from the first section, you have these things around you, you're gonna have plenty of things that you're soaking in that are going to be readily available for you. When you have that negative thought, you'll know exactly what to replace it with. Number 4, you want to acquire skills. The chasm of skill set between who you are and who you want to be is a chasm of skill set. And the whole idea behind a growth mindset is to acquire skills. Remember, the growth mindset is just giving you the foundation you need to go operate in the world, to not be shut down by criticism, to not shrink back in the face of challenge. You reframe that challenge. You remember that the human animal can grow and adapt, and that through disciplined practice, you can get good at something. So it's okay to not be good today. You're gonna get good on the things that you care about because you have the clarity, you know exactly what skills you need to acquire, and now you're going down the focused, disciplined practice path of gaining those skills. And in that process, you're gonna have to do things that are hard, you're gonna have to push yourself out of your comfort zone, and you're gonna have to repeat, repeat, repeat. Number 5, you're gonna audit your pattern of quitting. I think a lot of people quit under the guise of, it just wasn't as exciting as I thought it was gonna be. But you really need to look at, do you actually have a lack of grit? Because if you find that you start 1 or 2 things, you get into it and you realize, I'm not really that into this, and you quit, hey, fair enough, so be it. Or if something legitimately is not worth the time and energy, like when I think about singing, for instance, I don't want it badly enough to put in the time and energy on that because I don't get early wins in singing. So, and that goes to none of us are blank slates. We all have things that we're better at than others. And so for me, singing is one of those things that while I could get far better than I am today, and I fully acknowledge that, I don't like it enough to put in the time and energy. So thinking about something like that and really looking at, is it that? Have I really just accurately identified something I don't want badly enough to go after it? Or have I not developed grit? Have I not developed the passion that I need and the perseverance to see things through over time? And one thing that I always tell entrepreneurs is boredom kills far more entrepreneurs than fear or failure. It's that people get bored and they don't have the grit, the fortitude to see things through. So really be honest with yourself about where you are there. Number 6, read the book Mindset by Carol Dweck. It is extraordinary. It's going to reinforce all the things we've talked about here. I think that book is so, so, so important. Read that book. Number 7, journal about your growth mindset. Journaling, I think, is really big. And this is something that's helped me a lot. I actually really got into this hardcore about a year ago, and I really started just using it as a way to think through a process, to reinforce things, just to write. And I write in true stream of consciousness. So do not worry about whether or not you're a good writer. When I'm writing in my journal, I actually type, I don't know, should I? Because I find that there's something, and I don't type with those single fingers, I'm quite good. I'm doing all that. I find that it slows my mind down enough. And in typing all of that stuff, I really let my mind sort of pace itself at the rhythm that I can write at. So I write out every single thought that I have, and it's really weird. It's like talking to yourself. And so you're having this really profound dialogue, and it's solidifying ideas. It's allowing you to explore. It's reinforcing. It's part of the repetition pathway. So I highly, highly encourage you guys to journal about what's positive about a growth mindset. Why do you want to do it? It's going to be a way like obsession. In fact, that's number 8, is to become obsessed with the idea of yet. But that whole notion of obsession is really critical, and you can get that out in the journaling. So even journaling by adding yet, by talking about something that you're not good at yet, but that you want to get good at, and writing the word yet, and saying, hey, I really value this thing and I really want to get good at it, but I'm not good at it yet. And I might sit there and go, yet in my journal. And that's the kind of thing that just reinforces it, and steeping yourself in that, becoming obsessed with that, and really just reinforcing the stuff in your life is incredibly powerful. So never lose sight of the power of yet. Don't lose sight of the power of repetition, and definitely don't lose sight of the power of journaling. All right, number 9, you're going to want to join a community. We talked about in the previous section, you are the average of the 5 people, and maybe ideas is an even better way to say it, but you're the average of the 5 ideas you spend the most time with. And as a social animal, it gets reinforced so much more powerfully when you're a part of a community. Other people, especially if you like and respect them, and you want to adhere to the values of the group, that is so powerful. And that's one of the reasons that we have a community around Impact Theory University. And you guys, as a member taking this class, you have access to that, and I highly encourage you guys to get involved with that. And then whenever possible, get involved with people in real life. I think that that's incredibly, incredibly powerful. All right, guys. I think one of the most powerful things anyone can give you is doubt. And if you're like me and you place a fucking chip right on your shoulder and that drives you in the really hard times, I think that's ultra, ultra powerful. But remember, 80-20. You want to spend 80% of the time in the light, in the beauty, in the things that bring you joy and all that. So I want to give you a piece of joy right now. And I want to say this. I believe in you. And I believe in you because you're average. And average is enough. Humans are designed to grow and adapt. The brain is changeable. A growth mindset is attainable. You can do the things that you need to do to realize that our talent and intelligence are not fixed traits. They are malleable traits, things that you can change. You can learn to begin to identify your triggers that slide you into a fixed mindset, that make you want to shut down and shy away from challenge. And with that growth mindset, the belief that your energies and efforts are going to be rewarded with growth, then all of a sudden you can take on that ownership for your life, because it becomes exciting. And you start to realize that owning your life and taking responsibility for your choices and taking responsibility for where your life is the most exciting and beautiful thing that you could do, because you can get better. And you can realize, like Carlitos, no matter where you grow up, no matter how hard things have been for you, there is a path out. And that path is a growth mindset. I really, really hope that the information in this class is as life-changing for you guys as it was for me. I'm so passionate about passing this information on. It changed my life in ways that are so profound. It didn't just change my life, it changed the lives of my family. And I hope that it now is passed on to you, and it changes your life, and you're able to pass it on to other people, and it will change their life. I'm beyond honored that you joined me for this. And I'm beyond honored, and the thing that I care most about is that you're committing to yourself to develop a growth mindset. I really believe if more people do this, we can have the kind of impact in the world that we want to have. And if you want to know what my theory on how to impact people is, it's this: to give them a growth mindset and to do it at scale. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, my friends, be legendary. Take care.